Lions don't compare themselves to humans. I have made videos about many great footballers, but none of them have a story so great, terrifying and humorous as Zlatan Ibrahimović. As a child, Zlatan lived in a violent household, lived in a dangerous Swedish suburb, and was constantly bullied by all the kids due to his lisp, his big nose and unintelligence. Physically, he was tall and skinny, but learned to toughen up as a result of the physical violence he suffered. At school, Zlatan was introduced to the wonderful sport of football and naturally had the best technique and control out of everyone. Zlatan's school football practice was constantly cancelled due to the trouble Zlatan would find himself in. However, in one school session, Zlatan rocketed a ball towards the head of one of his most hated teachers, which upset her so much she actually left the school. This gave Zlatan a mindset that with the football, Zlatan could make the world do anything for him. Back at home, his mother had been arrested for stealing, his sister for substance abuse, his father was an alcoholic, his brothers would fight him, and he had to steal bikes and shoplift to be able to feed himself. One thing never changed though, and that was Zlatan's passion for football. He used all his anger and wounds to create strength for himself. As a teenager, Zlatan got a job working at the local docks and would attend trials for local teams in the area. Football was not that popular in Sweden, so choices were limited. As a striker, Zlatan was inspired by his hero, Ronaldo Nazario, and when he wasn't watching him, he would always tune into Italian football. After being named the Swedish Gabriel Batistuta by himself, his hometown club Malmo offered Zlatan a youth contract where he would excel against kids his age. But Zlatan did find himself in trouble as he headbutted a teammate after being tackled by him in a training session. Anyhow, he was given a second chance and Zlatan would later become a senior level footballer at just 16 years old. In his first season as a professional footballer, he recorded 1 goal in his 6 games and was unfortunately unable to save the club from relegation. It was in the second season where Zlatan found his feet and bagged a stunning 12 goals in 26 games to bring Malmö back up. In 2001, a 20-year-old Zlatan registered 3 goals in his first 8 games and his wonderkid reputation started to grow into other European countries. Arsene Wenger of Arsenal was particularly interested and offered to fly him to London for a trial, to which Zlatan was insulted. Zlatan doesn't do auditions. Leo Beenhakker of Ajax also expressed his interest and pitched a great plan and salary for Zlatan, who joined the lucky Ajax in March 2001. That same year, he was offered to represent Sweden, Croatia or Bosnia and Herzegovina at international level. He chose Sweden and soon after made his debut at the Nordic Championships. He later scored his first ever international goal against Azerbaijan, which was certainly memorable, but not as memorable as a certain goal, which I will show you later in the video. Anyway, back at Ajax, and now under the leadership of Ronald Koeman, Zlatan played a key role in Ajax's title-winning season. On a personal note, he scored 6 goals in 24, a number which angered him and inspired him to play better next season. After all, in his biography, as Zlatan quote read, "I need to be angry to play well," which had obviously stemmed from his background. A few Zlatan was introduced to the UEFA Champions League, a competition where he would go on to break countless records. He made his UCL debut in September 2002 against Lyon and ended the season with 5 Champions League goals and 21 in all competitions. Zlatan's reputation went global as his iconic goal in the league would be compared to the ones scored only by Diego Maradona and Zinedine Zidane. Zlatan was obviously a highly wanted man. Every team in the Netherlands wanted to sign him, but of course, Zlatan loves a challenge, or rather, a challenge loves Zlatan, and he moved from Ajax to Juventus in 2004 for a high price of 16 million euros. There were many doubts about Zlatan's ability to do it in a proper big league, but come on, obviously Zlatan impressed by scoring 16 in his 35 appearances. Zlatan, a striker, was also tried out on the wing and still managed to score an overall number of 26 goals for his time at Juventus before Inter Milan came knocking on the door with a 24 million euro offer, significantly higher than what Juve bought him for. He moved to Inter as they were the team he loved to see when watching the Serie A as a kid. The link of Zlatan and and Mario Balotelli was a deadly partnership, and Zlatan contributed 57 goals in his 88 Serie A games, winning Inter Milan 3 Serie A titles and 2 Supercoppa Italianas. At this time in football, everyone's eyes were watching Barcelona, who played the most beautiful football with the likes of Messi, Xavi, Puyol, Iniesta, Busquets, and that was all led by the genius that is Pep Guardiola. Barcelona wanted Zlatan, and Zlatan loved the worldwide attention they had. A perfect fit for both parties. In the summer of 2009, Zlatan signed for Barca in a deal nearly worth 70 million euros. The legend Zlatan Ibrahimović made his debut and assisted the legend Lionel Messi. Everything seemed perfect and everyone seemed happy. Together, they had won La Liga, the Super Cup, the Club World Cup, but something was missing. Something which Zlatan and Barcelona so passionately wanted: the Champions League trophy. After a heartbreaking 3-2 aggregate loss to his old side, Inter Milan, Zlatan, who was already a fierce man in the dressing room, jumped up to Pep and lost it, screaming curses at him. Pep quietly left, and the pair hardly spoke afterwards. The rise and evolution of Messi led to adaptations in Barcelona's system, and the two legendary strikers just did not fit together. Zlatan was not promised consistent game time and was out of Guardiola's future plans, so it was best for Zlatan to seek a move elsewhere. In the summer of 2010, after Zlatan had time to rest due to Sweden not appearing at the World Cup, he returned to the city of Milan, which he saw as his home. However, he signed for the wrong club, going to Inter and Juventus' rivals AC Milan on a loan-to-buy deal. Zlatan had a lot of pressure and anger from his old fans, which he admitted fueled him with adrenaline and pushed him harder to try and win the Champions League. Zlatan's loan ended perfectly, and AC jumped at the opportunity to sign him on a permanent 4-year deal. The new season started in August 2011, where AC Milan faced Inter Milan in the Supercoppa Italiana final, and he scored the opening goal of a 2-1 comeback victory to secure the first trophy of the season. But it was in 2012 when Zlatan truly shocked us all. In a World Cup qualifier against England, Zlatan had bagged himself a hat-trick before going on to score his 4th, which was this iconic 35-yard bicycle kick into the top bins. I remember watching this live, and to this day, it is probably the best goal I have ever seen. Every kid in Sweden wanted to play like Zlatan Ibrahimović. A year later, he bagged another hat-trick for Sweden, then went on to score 2 more in a battle against Cristiano Ronaldo's Portugal, a match between the two GOATs. Ronaldo scored 3 that same game, which ended Sweden's chance once again to go to the World Cup. Zlatan said of the defeat, "One thing is for sure, a World Cup without me is nothing to watch." However, an exciting chapter was ahead for Zlatan, who is now at PSG after winning a Serie A trophy with AC and finishing the league's top scorer with 28 goals in 32 games. Zlatan and PSG knew what the goal was: secure the Champions League they've both been so desperate for. While Zlatan tore up the league, European glory was unsuccessful for problems that reached far beyond his control. On a personal note, Zlatan was not shy of domestic trophies, winning 4 league titles, 2 French Cups, 2 League Cups, and nailing himself as a Parisian legend by becoming the all-time PSG top goalscorer. As his contract came to an end, it was decided best for both parties that he leaves the club on a positive note, unless, and I quote, they replaced the Eiffel Tower with a statue of Zlatan. On his final game, he got a hero's goodbye by a standing ovation and being greeted by his 2 sons with the words King and Legend printed on their shirts. There were many rumours floating around via Zlatan's next move. Unsurprisingly, he felt it was time to conquer England's Premier League. Manchester United, despite not being in the UCL, signed Zlatan on a 1-year deal with a 200 grand a week salary. Because of the pace and competitive nature of the Prem, many predicted Zlatan to just flop. However, he proved those people wrong by instantly scoring 4 consecutive goals. In In April of that season, a significant moment in Ibrahimovic's career unfolded as he found himself among the elite few shortlisted for the prestigious PFA Player of the Year award. This recognition further solidified his status as one of the top players in the world, despite being 35 years old. However, just a week later, tragedy struck. During a Europa League quarter-final match against Anderlecht, Ibrahimović suffered a severe ligament injury in his right knee and was out of action until the end of the 16-17 season, putting a dampener on Man United's aspirations. Nevertheless, despite being sidelined, Ibrahimović managed to witness his team triumph in the Europa League against Ajax in the final in his native Sweden. This victory marked a significant milestone in Ibrahimovic's career as he added his first continental trophy to his collection. At the end of the season, Manchester United announced they would release Zlatan when his contract expired in June 2017. However, this decision was later met with a surprising twist. The club revealed they were in discussions with Zlatan to potentially re-sign him for the latter half of the 17-18 season, hinting at the possibility of an exciting comeback. Zlatan did so, but struggled for game time due to suffering constant injuries which put him down the pecking order. Then in March 2018, Manchester United announced that Zlatan had agreed to terminate his contract, bringing an end to his second and final season with the club and collecting 29 goals in 53 games overall for United. Just one day later, Zlatan joined MLS club LA Galaxy and before even kicking a ball, put out a message to the city saying, "Dear Los Angeles, you're welcome." He made a memorable debut, scoring 2 goals, including a stunning 45-yard half volley and a header in stoppage time to help the Galaxy win 4-3 against LAFC, their main rivals. Zlatan quickly became a fan favourite and scored his 500th professional career goal in a match against Toronto, and that certain goal was nominated for the FIFA Puskás Award for Goal of the Year. In the 2019 season, Ibra was named captain of the Galaxy. He scored goals in the opening match and scored a perfect hat-trick against rivals LAFC again, adding fuel to the debate about who was the best player in MLS. Zlatan scored more hat-tricks and set club records for the most goals scored in a single regular season. Despite his impressive performances, LA Galaxy were eliminated in a playoff match against their rivals. Following the playoffs, Zlatan announced his departure from LA Galaxy through a tweet, telling the Galaxy fans, "You wanted Zlatan, I gave you Zlatan, you are welcome. The story continues. Now go back to watching baseball." By this point, everyone thought Zlatan would retire, but come on, this is Zlatan Ibrahimović. The guy is a lion. He even has a lion on his back. Zlatan returned to AC Milan in December 2019 on a 6-month contract. He scored his first goal since his return in January 2020 and became the oldest goalscorer in the Derby della Madonnina. Zlatan extended his contract until the summer of 21 and helped Milan secure a runner-up position in Serie A, qualifying for the Champions League. In that season, Zlatan scored consistently and had confrontations, including one with Romelu Lukaku, which resulted in a fine. He reached the milestone of 500 career goals and signed a contract extension yet again. However, an injury to his left knee forced him to miss the remainder of the season. In the 22-23 season, Zlatan became the oldest non-Italian player to score a goal in Serie A and scored a brace at the sheer age of 40. He contributed to Milan's Serie A title win, their first in 11 years. He revealed he had been playing with an ACL injury and suffered excruciating pain every single day. His efforts were rewarded with a 1-year contract extension with Milan. After a long absence, Zlatan returned to action in February 2023. Unfortunately, injuries had plagued Zlatan too much, and the 41-year-old called it a day on the 4th of June 2023, to which we saw an extremely emotional goodbye, with AC Milan fans expressing gratitude with a "Goodbye" banner, which even brought Zlatan to tears. The future is currently unknown for Zlatan, however, there are thoughts that he may go into management, but we'll see what happens. Watch the heartbreaking story of the most discriminated player on your screen.